Hello.
Hi, Michael.
Okay, then. You still rocking the music?
I was, yeah, I was kind of like do 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 boo ba doo boo. It's nice.
Yeah. Who is that, by the way?
That's Glenn Kreitzer, who lives like a few blocks from us or from me.
Is that true? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Glenn lives. We're all kind of up here in this Washington Heights area of New York City. So yeah,
That's amazing.
it is. It's pretty cool.
Do you ever get to see him though?
You know, I actually see Stephanie, his partner, more often. We meet up at the farmers market sometimes on Tuesdays.
Uh-huh.
And man, the farmers market, that's where it's at.
What's at the farmer's market? What?
Vegetables,
Uh-huh.
vegetables and bread and cookies and spicy black bean cilantro empanadas.
Oh, see?
Yeah.
That sounds delicious. What kind of farms, like, where do these farms come from? Because I didn't know any farms uptown.
There's definitely no farms uptown. There's definitely no farms like officially in Manhattan. I think these farms are probably coming from New Jersey.
Oh, all
Yeah.
right.
So no, but it's been a really, really great thing because I have found that buying fruits and vegetables and bread from the farmers market, it's cheaper and tastier, and there's less plastic. Obviously, like there's no plastic wrapping of things, so I go with my little bags. You won't believe who I saw there yesterday.
I mean, maybe I won't, but if you tell me, I'll probably believe you. Who did you see yesterday?
Samantha Lawton.
Oh man, well, I didn't even know she was in town.
Yeah, yeah. Sam is apparently working for NYC.grow or NYCgrow.com, something like that. NYC Grows. But anyways, she's got, I guess, like a part-time summer fall job helping out with New York City farmers markets and markets in general around the city, which is super cool. So, hello, Ron.
Hey, Rob.
Ron. Oh, yes, we should say if anybody's out there in the world,
Yeah, say
let let us know.
no. Don't feel like you're interrupting. I mean, you are, but it's fine. It's fine. We're having this conversation amongst friends in public.
Hi,
Terry,
Terry. Hey, can I show you another thing? I got these at the farmer's market, which is a really big deal.
flowers, are they real?
They're real flowers.
Uh-huh.
And the super big deal about this, Michael, is that, you know, I love plants. I love things that are alive like that.
Uh-huh.
And these are the first flowers that I have bought in this entire year of 2020.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And you know, flowers are important. Like, you know, they're beautiful. They are a sign of life.
They are one sign of life, absolutely. Yes.
Yeah. It's Chris and Lucy. Hi, guys.
Just north of me. Speaking of neighbors,
Yeah.
sort of. Yeah, actually, the truth is, like, we have a down by like it's a like a 2 minute walk to the tube station,
Mhm.
and right next to the tube station, there's usually at least 3 or 4 days a week, like a stall set up with some fruits and vegetables and flowers. And I would usually on a weekly, bi-weekly basis, I'm looking at my producer, but to confirm if that's true. But it doesn't matter because you're not going to know if it's true or not. So just believe me when I say every
We
day.
have a fact checker as part of this program.
Yeah, yeah. But I buy flowers pretty regularly, and yeah, actually for 2020, I mean, they stopped coming to set up stalls for obvious reasons. But even since they've kind of been back, it's been sporadic, and we haven't really had live flowers, and it's noticeable.
Yeah. Any signs of that sort of calm, peaceful, really luxurious, extra little detail? There just hasn't been much space for that
Yeah.
recently. Yeah.
Well, what else have you been up to this past week? It's been about a week since last we spoke.
That's true. I did speak with you and Remy last week. I think one of the main things that we've been working on with Syncopated City is prepping for our workshop in September. You know, like it's not that hard, but it's hard because for all of our career, you know, Michael and I, we've been, I'm talking to the audience now instead of to you.
Okay, that's fine.
You know, for our whole career, we've kind of, you know, been fortunate enough that there are these incredible event organizers who are interested and kind enough to invite us to teach at their events, and they do all the registration work, all the bookings of locations, and you know, just everything that goes into putting on an event. And online events are definitely different, but there's still a lot of work that goes into it. And it's a weird sort of internet landscape where, you know, you don't have paper flyers, but you've got to do all of the Instagram, Facebook stuff. You've got to build the website. You've got to have the registration intact. You got to have all of the different outlets for people to sign up. And it's new work that I guess everybody has been having to learn how to do. So
yeah,
I've been doing that a bit.
Yeah, it's yeah. In fact, I'd say it's more work for the artists now to kind of even more kind of be self-sustaining in certain senses, which is you know, we've always certainly within the last few months, you and I have talked a lot about the need to kind of just acquire new skills, like we're cobbling this car of a career together as we drive down the road. So you're always like, oh, I didn't know I needed a fourth wheel. Let me go like find one and put that onto my vehicle. Oh, an engine too. I've never built one, but I guess I have to learn how to do that. So it's yeah, it's a lot. But that's what dancers are. Full-time professional dancers out there, everyone. You know that we do the least amount of dancing and the most amount of everything else.
Yeah. It's important to have skills. Everybody's got to have skills, like, you know. Yeah. Jeden is here, so she danced in the house. I have a question to everybody who is watching. What is a skill that you would like to acquire? A skill that you do not currently have, but what is a skill that you would love to collect, develop, especially in this near future, like before the year ends or in the next year? Not superfluous, but more so based on.
Is yours using bigger words? Is that
mine is expanding my vocabulary. No, but you know, you're talking about like, you know, what kinds of different skills have we all had to develop and learn in order to get through this? I mean, I know a lot of friends that are, well, like I just said, Sam, and a lot of friends, they've gone out and they're finding other forms of work. I should say dancer colleagues who have gone out and they're finding other forms of work to make money.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'd love to know what would somebody else out there in the world think is a good skill to have? Or Michael, what about you?
Mine is cryptocurrency. That's the. I feel like cryptocurrency is the future. It's what everyone else is telling me, and they're making their millions.
That's what all the kids are doing, making millions.
Doesn't even make sense. None of it's real. That's the other weird thing. It's like, it's not even real. But yeah, I don't, man, I feel like I've already developed some skills just in terms of like video editing and some of these technological things that that I've had to learn for the website.
Yeah.
Carolina the other day was talking to some coworkers through like a work meeting, and she was saying something about her partner, me, like editing videos, and the person on the other line was like, "Oh, I didn't know your partner also does that." And she, "Oh no, he doesn't work it." But explaining what I actually do, and this person was like, "You know, we're looking for video editors in the pharmaceutical industry. If you know, get his resume together." Da, da, da. And I was like, "Okay." And then I was like, "Well, how much does it pay? And what do I need to know? Do they take Camtasia, and do they need to learn rock steps?" So,
that's real. That's a real thing. What about, Michael? I always thought for you that, digital marketing. Yes, digital marketing. Like that is absolutely what everybody needs to do. It doesn't matter what your field is.
Yeah.
Well, marketing in general, like actually having a full on, I don't know, that must be such a hard skill to get though, because marketing is constantly changing depending on the platforms, right?
Yes.
Oh, Ron, playing a few songs on the piano. That's a great skill to have, period. I don't know how much money that will make you, but that is a great skill to have.
Yeah, in these days, especially. What about you? What are you working towards something? Are you working on anything?
No, I'm still in denial. I still think that I'm a dancer. I still, I mean, oh man, no, that's getting deep. That's getting personal. That's like, ooh, soft spot in the gut.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, yeah, I think I'm still, man, you caught me. I don't
Yeah.
know what to say.
All right. So everyone
I'll,
knows.
I'll tell you what my fantasy like retirement job is.
There you go.
All right, for anyone who's listening, I think it is a dream of mine someday when I can't dance anymore. God willing, like I don't know when that will happen, but if for whatever reason, like I wasn't dancing anymore,
Yeah.
I think I would want to be somewhere near the ocean where I took care of sea turtles. And I could also be on a stand-up paddleboard and maybe take tourists out and explain to them the importance of cleaning the ocean, keeping it safe, keeping fish and turtles safe. And this is extra, but if I could have a cafe somewhere near the beach, I would sell coffee, of course, but I would also sell yarn and plants.
Like nothing like knitting a sweater underneath a palm tree and sipping a hot cup of coffee on a beach. If you
Well, okay. Iced coffee would be an option. Lots of tea, iced tea options. Also, I have thought about this. It would be a problem getting sand into the yarn. So, like, there'd have all the yarn would have to be up on high shelves, and I probably would stock more cotton, light linen threads of some kind
okay.
versus wool. It gets cold at the beach.
Okay. Yeah. Absolutely. Depends on the beach, I suppose, doesn't it? If you go to any of the beaches here in the UK, which I don't think are real beaches, yeah, you'd need that. You'd need that warmth.
So I think there's something to it. I think there's something to it. Whoa, Chris, you just built your first PC recently? Like personal computer?
No.
That's impressive. That's a huge skill.
Absolutely.
Wait, Michael, okay, I'm turning the spotlight back on you. What about someday distilling whiskey or rum or alcohols?
I would love to. I would love to get into the distilling game or some sort of making, like the alchemy of making spirits would be something I'm definitely into. I, you know, like when I was talking to Caroline about maybe that's what I'll do as my second career, you know, because this whole dancing thing is just dried up right now. So I need to start working on my, you know, my next source of income. She was astutely pointing out that everyone is kind of hurting for a job. So whatever course you take online, there will be, you know, you're going to be behind the people with 10, 15, 20 years of experience who also need that same job. And I was like, so I don't know. Don't know. I would love to though. Like I would love to do that. I think that would be fabulous. Spiritual.
Yeah. Spiritual alchemy. Oh, Lindsay.
Trademark, Lindsay, I'm stealing it.
That's beautiful.
Awesome.
Well, I want to jump back really quickly to anyone who is interested and watching. Michael and I are doing a workshop on Saturday, September 19th, which is coming up. And it's from 1 to 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And Michael, can you make a caption for people to go to the website?
I probably could.
Oh my God, high tech, high tech. But anyways, the workshop is open to anybody who's interested. Look at you. That's, wow, that was already up there. You didn't just make that.
What? No.
No, but we're excited. The premise is that we're going to teach a combination or a sequence, which is pretty, in our opinion, beginner friendly, welcoming, easy, gentle. And we're going to get through that really quickly because then we're going to give variations, be it rhythmic challenges or balance spins or just basically speed. And it's going to be variations on the entire sequence that we just laid down. So by the end of it, you'll have a full course of material, solo jazz material. But the concept is about basically looking at each step, looking at the shape of each step, and playing with it, putting in variations, and seeing how you, whether you're a teacher and you want to kind of show people how they can take a basic step to something more advanced, or if you're a competitor and you want to kind of go in with a solid outline, but then, you know, you kind of like soup it up like towards the end of you know, your 8/8 or whatever that you have. It's just, it's a nice mental exercise to appreciate what basic jazz steps already are in their root, and then how you can play with it.
That's right. So. And the business side of things is the workshop, which is a 2-hour workshop, is $35, fairly reasonable price, I would say. But if you're a member of Syncopated City, then it's only $25. And I think you also would just recommend, if people are interested, I would recommend becoming a member because it's free for members. Plus, you get at least a month, depending on how long you want to be with us, access to our huge library of videos and lessons as well. So we've kind of priced it strategically to say, like, hey, why don't you join us as a member, and you get this wonderful workshop and so many other bonuses and benefits as well. So
it's true. It's very, very true. I mean, I know people are probably tight on money right now, but if you really are tight on money, you should do the $25 monthly membership and then cancel. You know what I mean? There's no time restraint or limit on how long you have to be a member. But it would definitely be of interest for you to check out what we have and what we offer to members, because it's really cool. It's a lot of stuff, and we've been working on this for 5 years. So we invite you to check that out.
Right. Before we get to tonight's guests, because I'm very excited to have the return of the lovely Jenny Thomas, I have a question for you, and by extension, I have a question for Jenny, if she's within earshot, but who's to say? What are you drinking right now? Do you have a drink in hand, Evita?
Oh, don't make me embarrass myself.
I see a cup of tea. Oh, we're in England.
No, I'm not embarrassed. I'm not, well, this is, so it's about 3:20 in the afternoon for me in New York City. And this is coffee from this morning, like 9 a.m. that I just keep adding vanilla almond milk too. So it's actually now more so just vanilla almond milk.
Oh my God. Well,
I don't know if that's an actual drink.
No, it's certainly a liquid. That being said, I'm very excited. I've got at least one video in store. How about we bring her out? We'll get some stories going, and we'll do a little toast to you drinking almond milk, me drinking something delicious, which I'll talk about in a second, and Jenny drinking God knows whatever she's drinking. I can imagine it's tea because...
No, maybe it's a Pimm's. Remember she introduced us to Pimm's?
Hey, everyone. The lovely... Hi, Jenny.
Jenny! Ah! Oh, man. We're having the same thing again. Hold on.
I'm going to take you and bring you back, Jenny.
For audio purposes. Try again.
No.
No.
I'm going to hang you up, and this is always the funnest part of any sort of thing, is figuring out the technology.
Jenny, one's a charm?
No. I'm going to have you call. Can you call back, Jenny? Oh, I love it.
Meanwhile, oh my gosh, Lindsay Ann Michaels just sent me a text message personally, because we're close like that, of her with her teacup. I love it. I love it. And Q, Chris, awesome. And dancing, yes, we would love to have you. We would love to see you.
Okay, let's try this again. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah!
It worked second time last time, right?
No. I wonder if that you just sit backstage long enough that they're like, cut her sound. Cut her.
Maybe. Mine's a cup of tea, by the way.
I'm not surprised.
Well, I had too much over the weekend. I've been on holiday for 2 weeks. So this week it's cut all of that out, back to, good diet, hopefully, before I start work next week.
Well, cheers to recovery.
Cheers! Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Jenny, you're starting work next week. What are you doing?
Oh, just back to my online classes.
Right.
Yes, but with the online classes, I prepare everything. So it's a lot of classes that I prep each week. But yeah, nothing else at the moment. The TV show, that doesn't start for me for another 6 weeks about, really.
Yeah.
So until then, online classes, private lessons, things like that.
But good for you, Jenny, for planning everything, because you're absolutely right. I mean, this online class presentation, it requires a lot of prep. It requires a lot of work. You're kind of like your own TV show for a second.
Well, you never, usually, for classes, you feed off your students, and you get rapport with them, and you can see if they're picking it up. You can spend a bit more time on one step. But with the online classes, as you know, for me, I turn my back so they can see me dancing the steps, following me from behind. And then I'll turn around and I watch them and I'm like, okay, no, they haven't got that, or may have got that. I might be doing it too fast for them. But if I, for any moment, go, oh, what's next? What shall I do next? I've got nothing to feed from. So to begin with, my around my computer, I had notes everywhere. Like, I'm looking at the computer and here's a note, there's a note, there's a note. The choreography, there's a note. I prepped everything. First time in my life.
Oh. That's amazing.
Yeah, completely different way of working.
Beautiful. Yeah. I've done that too. Like, Evita, I don't know if you know this, but for our other workshop that we did, I wrote like the whole sequence down because I was like, I'm going to forget.
Yeah.
I know what I will. And it's just, in the moment, you can't even say like, what are we doing next?
I know. A couple of times though, I turn around and I'm facing the wall, and in my front room is a blank wall, and my mind goes blank. I'm like, oh bugger, what was that? And then I turn around and they're carrying on. Thank goodness. I'm like, yeah, well done, guys, well done. I'm like, I'm really sorry, I just got that wrong. It's all sort of tongue in cheek, but it's your mind does go blank sometimes, and then I'm trying to find which note is this class, where's this class.
I know that feeling. Sometimes I'm thinking to myself, where am I? Because you dancing sort of in your living room space is it's very, very bizarre. Jenny, I have to interrupt for a second because we have Kathy Harrison from Edinburgh saying hello, and we have Joel Ply.
Oh my God,
and
I
Joel,
need to try.
Yeah. I can remember probably many times that you made Joel cry or walk away in some capacity. Joel, it was worth it. It was worth it.
I love you, Joel. You know I do. Come on.
He's a tender soul.
Funny. We had some good times with Joel.
So funny. Yeah, speaking of drinking too much, I remember Camp Savoy where he really went for it.
Yeah.
I think you went for it too, Michael.
I did do, but not nearly as bad. Not that it's competition, but I do remember when we finally got him home for the day. There was the Sunday night dance. We had a big barbecue the next day that we were really excited for. So it had been a weekend of teaching. We got him from the day from the teacher after party back to his bed, and we put the trash can right next to his bed. He was passed out, but he was still saying stuff. And I remember when we brought the trash can next to his pillow, he was talking about. He's like, "Stop it!" He's talking about R2D2, I think, or a stormtrooper.
Stormtroopers. He was talking about stormtroopers.
We love you. And
wait, didn't Joel fall through some bushes at one point?
Yeah.
Is that the Knights?
Yes. All right, Joel, we'll leave you alone.
Oh my God, those are good times.
Yeah,
those are good times.
So you were on holiday the last few weeks. Where were you?
Yeah, 2.5 weeks, just down in Devon. Just sun, sea, and the other few things,
Yeah. Yes. Okay. I was like, Yes.
No, we went to Dartmoor. We had a lovely time, even when the weather's not very nice. It's such a beautiful part of the world.
Yeah.
And it was just take time out. Although I still did a couple private lessons. But aside from that, it was just really just let the mind and body relax. Because next week, as I said, I'm doing my online classes, but Mikey also starts uni. So I'm having to prep everything, get his whole life together to move. He moves down there on the 12th to Portsmouth.
Oh my gosh.
Like, where's that baby, the little baby?
Oh
my little baby has just grown into this young man, and he's doing computer science, something that I wish my skill could be. When you were saying, what would you like to do? I would love to be able to do, web design, marketing skills, all of those things.
Yeah. Use TikTok, whatever that is.
Whatever that is. And then I asked Mikey, can you help me with this? Oh, Mum, no, you should know how to do that. Thanks, Mikey.
Thanks.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, well, I was just going to say that one of the things we were hoping to share today, Jenny, was any kind of crazy stories of performance faux pas. And I remember losing it most every time you told a story, because just some of the things that you have been through on stage, on performance, and survived. Yes, exactly. Are just, I don't know how that happened. But Michael, maybe before, so we can give Jenny a chance to think about some stuff. Do you want to?
In the spirit of getting you to share embarrassing stories of yourself, I thought I'd share one with you, and by extension, the 7 people that are watching. So, was it 2 years ago? You were the choreographer for
D-Day.
Thank you. Was it BJ?
It was only like a year and a half ago.
Was it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh.
Wow.
So, can you set us up with just what that gig was?
Yes. It was for the BBC. It was for D-Day 75th anniversary. And it had 13 state leaders, including the Queen, Prince Charles, and your president. He was there. It was probably the biggest event of the year on TV. And I was asked to choreograph it, which was for me one of the highlights of my career, without a doubt. It was amazing. Part of me wished I was in it, because it was such an amazing event, and the buzz around the event was incredible, and the stage was huge.
Massive.
Huge. Put it this way, there was an orchestra one side, an orchestra on the other side, and it was still like, oh my God, I don't even know how big, but it was just like huge.
Yeah. And it was the cast of dancers that you worked with was composed of,
I auditioned everybody. I auditioned dancers, and it had to be pros, because I only had, I think it was 3 days rehearsal.
Yeah.
I think it was 3 days rehearsal to choreograph it, get it looking pretty good, and then we would be on set the following week. I don't even think it was 3 days. It might have been 2 days rehearsal.
2.5. It was 2 days of rehearsal.
Yeah, you couldn't make it for half the day. You were coming back from somewhere.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you arrived half a day late, I think. And so yes, it was all professional dancers, and including yourself, Mo and Hannah.
Yeah.
So I had some swing dancers in there, a couple of ballroom dancers that I've worked with before, that knew some swing, but it wasn't. It was a very, very fast turnaround, and it was one of those things. We got to the venue, and they, well, you know this, Michael, they decided. This is after the rehearsal. I have the routine set. We have 20-minute slot on this stage, and there's so many other things going on. And they gave me a bit of music that had, I think it was 12 eights extra.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I'm like, are you serious? And so I took everybody, the whole cast, to the back lot, and it was the sun that was shining that day, wasn't it?
It was an outdoor
we had a couple of redheads who burnt a little bit, unfortunately. And the sun was shining, and I had everybody on the lot learning new choreography to fill this gap. And everybody did it. We had this amount of time, re-choreograph this number, a whole section going in, and then we had our 20 minutes on stage.
Yeah. Which we weren't, the 20 minutes on stage as well was, I don't know if it was I think we had our shoes, but it wasn't a dress rehearsal, and we weren't allowed to step in the center of the stage because they wanted to keep it clean.
Because they had stenciled the 75 D-Day celebration emblem there.
Put down some like carpeting or some sort of like astroturf to protect the logo of the thing.
Yeah.
So it was very exciting. And we, I remember, maybe to turn off your notifications. So basically, that's kind of, from your perspective, what happened. From my perspective, the whole thing, which was it Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy, I think?
But it was too fast.
Yeah, of course, it's always too fast. When the live band, you're like, this is the tempo.
I tried to get it slower. Even the singers couldn't sing up to that speed.
Yeah. So the way, and I'm going to show a video in just a second. I've done a little editing of some video, which, yes, you can find it online. It is on YouTube, Jeden. I'll give you the information in a second. It's the full like hour-and-a-half thing. But the choreography starts with all the boys, and I think it's, what, 5 and 5 or something like that?
Coming on from the side, and you had to start quite early because it was such a big stage.
It was massive. So running start for about half an hour to get to center by the time the downbeat happens. And we went on right after Donald Trump gave a speech.
Yeah.
So what that meant was we were backstage, and secret security, his secret security was keeping us at a certain distance before we could line up in the wings. Mm-hmm. And they made it very clear, like, if anyone made the wrong move, they probably would have been taken out. And so I just remember like standing there, and I could see him, and I was just like seething. I was just, not that this show's political, but I was not pleased. I was just thinking of all the things of like just the vile, and he walked right past us to get off stage before we went on. And I'll say that was where my focus should not have been, but was, before I made the first mistake of 2. I'm going to show the clip now. I don't know if I can do the voiceover when it happens. Enjoy. I'm going to... Yep. If you missed it, we'll see it again. So I'm in the center. That's me. Everyone's going.
Oh my God, Michael!
And I jumped into it. And then there was one other moment here.
no. Are they disapproving?
So, yeah, you can.
Wait,
So
Michael, you might have to wait. It moved over to people's faces that were looking in horror.
that was the yeah. Hold on. That was the Jenny. Can you hear us? Oh no,
Uh-oh, we lost your sound again.
the volume up. Oh no.
Joel, he goes, at least you were in the center. It looks like, yeah, Lindsay as well. At least you were in the middle, so it made it seem like possibly you were just special.
Jenny, I'm sorry for the audio. Can you call back one more time, please? I'm sorry. Doing the thing.
Wait, so were we supposed to see you fall right before you catch?
So what happened was the BBC was kind enough to cut away right before and I didn't fall all the way on my ass. Hello.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, there you are.
That was the camera person or whoever, like someone in the booth was like cut and like they cut.
Thank goodness, because that was filmed live, recorded live like that.
Yeah.
And I'm watching it. I'm in the wings watching it, and I just went
Yeah.
like this.
Yeah.
You know, nobody can see my reaction. I'm like, no! But then it was like, okay, got up, and you got up just in time for the next part. And it was like the camera guys knew it was going to happen. They cut, they got back. Nobody from the audience, well, aside from the people watching it live,
So the audience.
The audience being the TV audience, which it was something like 10 million viewers, nobody saw it. They didn't see it.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was already frazzled for missing the rock step turnaround into the sloop.
But you can get away with that because you were dead center.
But I was just like jogging and I see like in my periphery turns, I was like, fuck! And I just jumped into a turn. I was like, oh no. And I was like, oh, and I was trying not to let that, because after that moment, I was like, Jenny's going to kill me. I failed her. I cannot believe, like, that's all I could think about. And then in this moment of the almost aerial, like, they tossed Mo to the center. I'm supposed to do this little leapfrog. And because we'd never been on that stage in the shoes, I just flipped and I bounced right up, did an around the back into a handspring and carried on.
Well, so the day before that, it was puddles. It was water.
Yeah.
Completely, because it rained. So it was a thing with the fresh paint and rain that they had tried to mop up. So you guys were and you were doing it at like double speed because the MD wasn't listening to me, asking him to do it slower. But it was one of those things. It was still a success, Michael. You still looked amazing.
I mean, you're not wrong. No, I thank you. But that's my offering for a moment on stage that is potentially embarrassing.
That was great. You want to know mine, don't you?
Of course I do. Yes.
Oh my God. Yeah. I'm like, I don't know where to start. I've had so many. The thing is, if you go wrong, go wrong with conviction. You know, nobody should know. I think I could get away with a lot because during my career, I was always the shortest. So I was always a soloist, so I could sort of get away with most of the things if I went wrong. Yeah. However, let me tell you about one show I did. It was called Hollywood and Broadway, and it was a touring show, and it was we were at the London Palladium. Now, a couple of things happened in that same show. That show, I think we went to the Palladium 2 Sundays. It was 2 weekends that we did it, and the rest of the time we were touring England. And this night, it was Wayne Sleep, who was a dancer, professional dancer. He was a very famous dancer years ago, who I used to partner sometimes. And it was Lorna Luft. Now, Lorna Luft is Liza Minnelli's sister, Judy Garland's daughter. Now, she was in the show, right? Now, I'm only saying this because what happened at the end of my blunder and it was recognised by somebody. So during a number, I think it was the first time it happened, it was a Fosse number. And Wayne used to stand in the corner and he'd talk about, Fosse used to like long legs, long legs, long arms. And he used to finish with an overhead spot with his hat, right? And as he was talking, we would have to come on stage in the blackout with chairs, right? And now I think there's 4 chairs, 4 girls, 4 boys, and we'd all be posed slightly differently. One like this, one all different. My one was to put my leg onto my chair, boom, like this, on that overhead spot. And at that moment, the spotlight would come on. So we come on stage, everybody's like, quiet, bring the chairs. My bloody chair wouldn't open. My chair wouldn't open. Now, do you remember old-fashioned, like deck chairs? You probably don't over there. We do have them in England. But anyway, it fell through the opposite way and it just crashed on the floor. I'm thinking, shit, Wayne's just going to go mental. Everybody's in position. They're going, Jen, hurry up, Jen, hurry up. I'm like, okay. So I put it on the floor, put my foot on the floor, just went like that. He says overhead spot, because he's going overhead, waiting for me to finish. Anyway, doing that. On the first bit, he's walking over. He picks up the chair from underneath my foot and throws it in the wings. Crash. I'm thinking, oh my God, he's not going to get shit later. I did in the same number. So that was one part of it. That it was like, no, it wasn't the same number. It was a different number. So that was the first thing. The second thing, in the same show, it was Let Me Dance For You. I don't know, I can't remember what that was from. Chorus line. So, yeah, there was Wayne's in the middle, 2 girls either side, and you guys probably know, and some of the people that know me really well, I have wind sometimes. I'm known to be a little windy.
Wait, for Americans that means gassy or farty.
Well, you guys know that for sure. Now, we used to wear our microphones here or here in your head, right? So I'm in front of Wayne, so he's behind me, and he's singing, Let Me Dance For You, da-da-da. And while we're doing this forward motion back, I just let one out, like, so all you heard was, let me...
No way, Jenny. No way. You heard it in the microphone?
Oh, no. They heard it in the gods. They heard it in Dress Circle. They heard it everywhere because it was in his microphone.
Oh, my
God. Microphone.
So it was like there was distortion in the sound, obviously. It was like, what on earth was that? Well, there's the next point. There's... my 3 other friends, we were in the corners of the stage, all looking in. Wayne's in the middle, and I could see the 2 in the front with their backs to the audience crying, just laughing, crying.
Oh my God!
Because Wayne couldn't breathe. He was a little bit of drama, and he's like, so we're trying to go in. We're just continuing with choreography. And they're just laughing. And we're supposed to be singing the chorus at this point. Nobody's singing. It was awful.
Oh my God.
It gets to the interval. And I say the interval because Liza Minnelli came backstage to see Lorna. And she said, honey, it's the best part of the show so far.
People should have paid extra for the comedy.
Oh my God. It was just, I mean, it really was mortifying, but my friends were used to me doing that, you know. But it
Oh,
was, as a whole, being the London Palladium, which is, you know, notorious. What a great place to perform. But yeah, I've probably got many stories like that.
oh,
Sorry
gee,
if I've been.
that's amazing.
Well, did you catch it from him after the show or in the interval at halftime?
Did I catch who?
Like, did he give it? Like, did Wayne like really
Oh,
like?
Wayne went mental at me. He said, "You doing that to get attention?" Like, yeah.
Yeah, I can fart on cue on stage.
No, I can only burp on cue. I can't fart on cue.
Oh, that,
Wow.
he didn't kick you out of. I mean, were you in his? You were in his dance company, right?
He didn't have a dance company.
Okay.
He did lots of shows, touring shows, TV shows. I used to do a lot of royal galas with him that the two of us would just perform together. We used to do tap routines, song and dance routines, all sorts of things.
Yeah. Did he? You worked with him after that point, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
He liked me, really.
How could he not?
I just embarrassed him.
Funny.
Well, it's the people that you go through those things with. Those are the good ones. Like,
Oh yeah. I mean,
my God.
there's so many blunders. I mean, another one that I can think of was on Broadway. And over the head.
Oh yeah, pop over.
Yep. And I landed on Ryan's face because
Oh my-
something happened.
Wait.
I don't know how. He fell back, I fell on, boom, missed it completely. Just landed on top, whether it was something to do with the stage or what. You get up, you just carry on.
Yeah.
With one of the understudies, I went to do the rock step, boom, side flip.
Yeah. That's cool.
I went to do it, and he had the other side of the arms ready. Right? I'm like, what am I supposed to do?
Did you go for it yourself? No, you didn't. Okay.
I don't know what happened. Things like that happened all the time, though. You just get up, you carry on, you know.
We were
In teeth, as they say.
Yeah.
In teeth.
Funny. Evita, you had a similar-ish moment in swing when we were doing it in Japan.
Oh God, yeah. I don't know what happened to me. You know the opening. Okay, so when Michael and I did swing for the Japan tour in 2008, there's an opening number where you're basically like introduced to all the characters, and you see kind of the ensemble come out, and then of course Michael and I we're doing the front center Lindy Hop roll that you and Ryan originated, and so you're right front center. Talk about being in the middle. And I don't know what happened. We were doing basic Charleston, some super simple like kick around the world, and my supporting leg ankle just rolled. I don't know. I mean, I wasn't hurt, but it just kind of went, meh. And I fell. And for the life of me, I could not get back up. It was like I could get up, but it was like, I don't know. Let me see if I can recreate it for you guys. It was like I went down, and then it was like I don't know why I couldn't stand up. Like normally you can just like pop right back up. I don't know. I was tired. I was disoriented. I think we had like long tech rehearsals beforehand, and I was just. It was a preview. It wasn't even the first show. It was like a preview for an audience, and I don't know. But then after that, what was it? Michael Snipe, our friend in the show, he goes, "You better stand up. You better get up."
Because it wasn't, to me, as I recall, it wasn't like new show jitters. Like we had already been doing it a while, so it was so, we both had a turn, and I remember as I go to do the turn, and I look for you, and you were down, and I just looked down at you, and I was like, what are you doing? It's like, get up, we got to keep going. Just random.
The difference with nowadays is my career is like, I don't do shows or things like that anymore. My career is over really as far as that's concerned. And in my generation, it wasn't captured on video. You weren't allowed to video West End, Broadway shows, any shows. You know, you got your phones taken. Well, we didn't have phones. We didn't have phones. You know, you'd have to take in one of these, you know, to film it. So it's very different. Whereas nowadays, everybody films everything. So you have proof here that, oh my God, yeah, I went wrong, or I went wrong. Whereas in theatre, you just, it wasn't actually recorded.
Yeah,
You know?
that's true.
I have one more quick one that I have to share. It's terrible. It's not as funny, but it's relevant because it was a really important lesson that I learned from you, Jenny. And since then I have like always thought about this. So this was Frankie 95, and it was the big like show that they were trying to do. And sorry for my beeping. And basically, Michael and I had this trick that we learned from you guys, where it was called the foot in the back.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, you know, this incredibly cool looking, basically I do a backflip, but Michael's foot supports me and he rolls onto the back and then pops me over, and it's great. And I love that trick, and it was one of our go-to tricks because you guys taught it to us so well. We were so confident. At least I was definitely very cavalier about that step. Foot in the back. Yeah, Joel, you know it. And so here's what happened. Of course, the actual performance, which was being recorded. I'm sure you can see it somewhere. You know, the adrenaline is high. I definitely probably rushed the entrance of it, which didn't give Michael a good foothold. But the other thing that I did is I hadn't practiced the trick in context in costume. Mm. And the costume that I ended up wearing for that had a double skirt. So basically the top skirt was one color, and then when I would spin, it was a different skirt on the bottom to show a different color. Well, when Michael's foot went on my butt basically to catch me for this trick, because we hadn't done it in costume, and probably also because I was rushing, his foot slipped and I freaking landed on my knees on the other side. It was terrible, but I popped right back up immediately. We finished the whole routine. I remember my knee was throbbing. I mean, thank God I didn't break anything. But we finished the whole number, and then as soon as the lights went out, I ran off, and that was the only thing that I had to do in the show. I didn't stay for curtain call. I didn't stay for anything. I immediately went home, I think mostly because I was embarrassed. And I was wearing, I'll never forget this, I was wearing fishnet stockings. And I kid you not, for like 3 months, I had a fishnet scar on my knee from the landing on my knee. But what I'll never forget from that is that Jenny, you told me, or you said something that, oh, no, you always practice either the steps, the routine, especially the tricks. You have to practice them in your costume, because you never know like what random weird thing in the costume might get in the way of an aerial.
Absolutely. Costumes, shoelaces. My biggest thing, shoelaces, double knots, always. Yeah. Always rehearse with costume.
And shoes trying the floor. I mean, the fact that you guys for the whatever V Day, the fact that you guys never got a chance in shoes to try that floor.
They only got the costumes the day before, I think it was. Yeah. The day before, and they were altering them on the day.
Yeah. And yeah, hi Shannon. She makes another good point. Hair pieces or hats.
Yeah, and any prop, any accessory, gloves, you know, things like everything. If you got gloves, hand grips are different. So
Absolutely.
Many years ago, I used to wear the gauntlets, so I had still grip in my hand. They look like gloves, but I just had the thing going around the finger.
Those were beautiful. I remember those. Also, I remember So Michael and I, we also learned from you guys the front handspring down the back.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember, Michael, several times you were wearing a bowler hat or some kind of a hat. And I remember saying to you, there's no way we're going to do the front handspring around, like down. And you kept saying, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. And we did practice it. And I was amazed that your hat didn't come off. But I guess it's because you duck or I got high enough. But
it's technique. It, like everything, is all based on technique.
Yeah. And hair that would just hold it. Like, look at this. This hair's not letting anything off. It's not true at all. Yeah. Yeah. No, it's fun lessons, fun things to learn in front of other people when the stakes are as high as they could possibly be for a performer. You know, it's just.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah. Sorry. Go ahead, Rita.
Oh, I was just going to say, I love so much, and I'm so grateful that we have you, Jenny, to tell us these stories, and that you were our teacher and our mentor, because it's so important to hear the stories and like hear them face to face, hear them like front on, that's what it's like living on stage, like living in a performance, you know. Nowadays, like you were saying, because everything is videoed and edited, and there's this seemingly, you know, perfect output all the time. And it's really hard.
Not real, is it? It's not real. To me, it's like putting together YouTube clips. It's TV. It's edited. It's edited to the point of perfection, you know. And I love working on TV. I like doing those type of jobs, but there's nothing like live audience theatre, live bands, live shows, because the things that go wrong make the show too. It just shows that we are all human. We are not machines. We are not perfect in any shape or form. And what we try to put across when you put all this together and this together, and it looks so perfect, and that's a lot to live up to, you know, and we're not. None of us are.
Yeah.
And especially when it comes to dancing, is my God, you should see my first Lindy turn. Oh, my first, thank God. Well, actually, it's probably on video somewhere, but it's like 1992. And it was just dreadful. It looked like a back step or change, you know. And I'm like, but it's in a show. I'm doing Lindy. I'm doing all of these things. I think I knew how to pop and all the aerials before I knew how to follow at all.
Yeah.
But it's a whole learning process, you know. Performing is very different. Live shows are very different to the perfection that we see in all the YouTube clips, I think, which are staged, edited.
Yeah, it's not real. Speaking of learning, what skill would you like to learn while in pandemic?
Cooking.
Really?
Yeah, I cook. I've had to cook more than I've ever had to cook, you know, during lockdown. It was myself, Daryl, and Mikey, and I'm like, oh my God, 3 things. Like, I'm doing breakfast. Okay, breakfast is nothing, but I was cooking lunch, cooking dinner, and I'm so bored of my own cooking.
Yeah.
And it's nothing special. And so if I had time to indulge in learning a new skill, culinary school, that's what I'd like to do.
Very cool.
So, yeah, because even though I'd like to do web design, I'd be crap at it. I hate it.
Yeah.
I have to do it. I have to do what I have to do, but it doesn't excite me to push keys.
Get that.
You know, I like being physical. I like doing things. Yeah, I like dancing. I like creating. And I think cooking, you could create things.
Ooh.
And at the moment, I'm just safe and boring.
What's your go-to dinner?
My go-to dinner?
Yeah.
Depends what time of year.
No.
Right now, it would be salad, salmon, you know.
Sounds great.
Easy stuff, things like that.
Skin on?
Yeah, but skin on, absolutely.
Oh,
Yeah, crusted. Yeah,
crispy. Oh.
crispy. But in the winter, I do a mean shepherd's pie.
Wow. She goes, all right.
Yeah, with it, it's got a little bit of a cayenne pepper in my shepherd's pie, so it gives a little bit of spice to it.
I love it. That sounds fabulous. That's great. I think culinary school is, I feel like there was a moment where I was like, I'd like to go to culinary school. And then I realized, because I worked in restaurants.
I know you used to cook for us, and your food is gorgeous. I actually learnt my first salmon dish from you.
Oh,
Mm.
wow. I didn't know that. It's awesome.
Yeah.
I think, I do like, there is something really creative and fun about cooking. And it's also like a necessity. Um, But I think watching the chefs in kitchens, really you see like it's such hard work. And many times like I watch, like social dancing. I'm like, I don't know if I want to go social dancing tonight because I do it all the time. I would worry that going to culinary school for me would take that passion, that fun out of it for me.
Mm.
I don't know.
Yeah, well.
But I still think it's really cool. I love watching cooking shows.
Yeah, I love it. I could watch cooking shows for days. I was just seeing somebody wrote about did y'all ever no I can't did you it's supposed to be ever rather than every.
Well,
Do
it's
you think
from Ron. He's
okay
asking.
to mess around during the last performance of a long-running show? I didn't think we'd mess around, but we would maybe just do some subtle things that the audience wouldn't know.
Yeah.
But pantomimes, you'd always mess around. You don't have pantomimes in the States.
You don't. It's a very
English thing where yes, the dames are the males, and you reverse roles.
Yeah.
And it's based on Sleeping Beauty, Cinderella, Aladdin. Actually, it was my first choreography job, was choreographing Scunthorpe Panto back in 1986.
It's I saw my first panto ever at the Palladium. Caroline and I went.
Did you? Oh, I bet it was a good one. It's always a good one at the Palladium.
So it was actually the best one we've ever seen. It was actually kind of the worst we've ever seen. So that was great. It was fabulous. It was really. It is a very like English thing. It's like, what's happening, and it's a very holiday oriented thing.
Yeah, and the more blunders, the better.
Yeah.
Audiences love it. Yeah.
Like it does take an English, in my opinion, an English sensibility in terms of comedy to appreciate it, and especially seeing the one at the Palladium, which I feel like is kind of the highest, most popular one. We had a great time, but they made so many like in references that we were like, oh, what? Yeah. But it was great. It's fabulous.
Yeah.
I will answer Ron's question. Oh, the sunlight is coming out. Sorry. There we go. I will answer Ron's question. There was one time also when we were doing the show Swing, Michael, and we were starting to get a little, as you were alluding to, Ron, it gets a little repetitive. And so for one of the numbers, we just wanted to change the ending pose that we did, and we did something different. And it got crazy because the stage manager came up to us right as soon as we got off stage and was like, whoa, guys, is everything okay? What happened out there? And we said, we just did a different dip at the end. And he says, you can't do that because the lighting cues were taking their cues off of the exact shape, like it was clockwork. So we kind of got in trouble for doing something a little different.
It has to be the same thing every night, You can't change anything when you're in a show. Mm-hmm. So when I did shows on Broadway, because you're doing the same show 8 shows a week, for my warm-up I used to dance with like Robert Royston, and I used to dance some West Coast swing with him. I would dance with Carlos and do some salsa, and Maria did salsa. Aside from running through the show of what we did, I'd actually try to get as much other social dancing, just so you're your body's still able to do that, because as a pro dancer, it's an art to be able to do the same thing every night, exactly the same, and still make it look like it's the first time you've ever done it, showing that audience, performing, and not showing how bored you might be. You know, and some shows people do for years. They do them for years because it's a job. And I think that's the thing. It's a job. I think we stayed in the show for just under a year. And that was just a long time. I used to like doing touring shows because touring shows were shorter, 3 months, boom, 3 months done, or a 2-month tour. And you wouldn't get bored of the show then. You just love performing, love doing it. And then you're on to the next show, new choreography.
Yeah.
You know,
I feel like injury is a lot easier to do if you kind of get into the same, like it just takes a toll doing the same movements.
Yeah, during the beginning of Broadway, during the press week, just before press week, I fractured my fibula. So I was off the show for the first 4 months. We had rehearsed for 6 weeks. We had previews, and then during that press week, I had a fractured fibula, and I was actually on crutches, and the Broadway producers asked if I would still do the opening, but only do three numbers in the routine. So I was landing, doing our main solo, the opening and the finale throughout press week, just so that they had us in the show, the Lindy Hoppers, to show, you know, what we did, because it was all different types of swing, as you know. And then by opening night, I was off. And it was the first time my mum and dad had ever taken a plane. And they came out to see me, and I didn't perform.
Oh.
So it's quite tragic, really. Yeah. So, and I shot a commercial, the commercial for swing, and again, and I do that round the back, landing on a fractured fibula, going off the stage to my crutches, and yeah, then I was off for 4 months.
Oh my God. And you did the Macy's Day Parade as well, didn't you?
Yeah, I did the Macy's. It was the Macy's Day Parade that started it. I was Shanae turning off the stage, and as I turned, I felt my leg torque, which went, and I'm like, oh my God. And that's when they got me into the hospital and stuff, and yeah, and that's when I found out I had fractured my fibula.
Well, and the Macy's Day Parade is an outdoor, probably not the right floor to dance.
Oh no,
and it's usually cold.
Well, we did the rehearsal at 7 o'clock in the morning. I was dancing with my understudy because Ryan was off with Achilles tendonitis. So I had was with the understudy, and we had a 7 a.m. rehearsal.
Yeah.
And it was raining. And this is, as you know, it's on concrete outside Macy's. So we did the rehearsal. They still wanted to see aerials at not 7 a.m. And then we went live, I think it was around 9:10 in the morning. And by that time, you know, you're cold. You've got your trailers all down 34th Street, trying to keep warm because it's November, you know, it's freezing cold. And then we shot it live, and it was during that live performance that I felt my leg go. Luckily, I mean, after that, I was back in time to do the Tony Awards, though.
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
Oh, well, good. The Tony Awards is really like all that matter. Oh my God, Jenny. Oh my God.
Yeah, but you know, luckily, well, touch wood. Where's the word? I've been pretty lucky when it comes to injuries. I haven't had a great deal of injuries. Little, you know, minor aches and pains. More problems with my feet than anything.
Yeah.
Now, and that's pounding, tap shows, you know, point shoes for many years. as well as landings from, you know, aerials. 20, you must have, did you count this, Evita, when you did the show? Because I know you did it slightly different, but I had 22 aerials in
Yes.
every show, 8 shows a week.
Yes.
That's how many landings. That's not just that's not the show. That's just landings from aerials.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember you telling me that number, and yes, I think we were very similar. I mean, like, if you count all of the toss outs, which are still landing.
They're landings, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brutal. Hey,
lucky I'm still standing.
Yes, you are. You're doing far more than standing. You know, Jenny, being a choreographer in your position now, I just think is so beautiful. It's such a graceful transition. You know, the teaching and the choreographing. I think, this is my opinion, but I think it's every dancer's dream to be able to make that transition where you don't completely step out of the field. You don't let go of the art form.
I can't.
Yeah.
I can't. There is nothing. I've said this before. If I won the biggest pot of gold, the lottery, I still need to dance. Simple as that. I wouldn't take as many jobs, you know, but I would have to dance. I have to dance. I have to create dance. It's just in my bones. I've been doing this, for 48 years. So my first teacher, she never got out of her chair. She sat in her chair, and her grown-up dancers used to dancing. She used to just shout at us. My other teacher, Yurik Soroka, who's my tap teacher for many years, he's now 78, and he walks, he talks, he taps. And you don't need to be throwing yourself around. I keep telling myself that because I still throw myself around too much. But I'm hoping that even when I'm sitting in a chair, I can still look and create, because that's what fulfills me, I think.
So can students who are signing up for your September classes expect to just see you seated while you tell them what to do through a camera?
I wish. No, not online. It's fun. It's fun classes. It's a lot of banter in my classes as well. So
imagine, based on how this has gone, that
I watch a little bit. I turn around. I do the classes, and you know the nice thing is people can watch it time after time after time, because I do YouTube links after the show. So.
Well, if people wanted to sign up, because there still is time to sign up, I assume.
Yeah, I don't start until next week.
Where can they go?
You're going to have the link right there.
No, what are you talking about? What? I didn't want to cover up your face. I felt like, well, it's probably going to cover her face.
So that's okay. That's okay. There you go, Jenny. Perfect.
Yeah, JennyTapsThomas.com is your general website, but if you look at the specific page for classes, that's where you can go, yeah?
Yes, that's right. Yes.
And you don't have to be in the UK. You just have to be willing to. What time?
Actually, I have about at least 10 students that are in different countries, and I send them the links afterwards, uncut, so it's warts and all. And they've got the live recordings that they can do it in their own time. And apparently they talk back to the videos, because I talk to you in the videos. Right. So, yeah.
You might demand that they start sending you some talkback videos of.
I know. I think I need to get some of that. I need to get some of their stuff back.
Videos. That's great. Well, I want to say best of luck with classes. I know they've been going well, but it's always nice to have more students. So
yeah, thanks, Kathy. Kathy's recommending them, bless her.
Absolutely. No, Jenny, you're a phenomenal teacher. I mean, not only the content that you teach is beautiful, but the explanation and then the attention to details in the body. It's definitely. And I'm not just saying this because you're my teacher. I'm saying this because I've seen lots of teachers, and I come from a line of a family of teachers, and your ability to explain and to get your students to do the thing you're talking about is extraordinary. And we have seen it for years, not only experienced it ourselves, but then we've seen it in the groups that you've choreographed for. It's just, it's phenomenal.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
So everyone out there watching,
It's what I've got to say, I love teaching.
Yeah.
well,
You know what? Teaching for me is the love. That's the easy part. The hardest part is when we travel. The traveling is the hardest part. The preparing, all the other stuff that you guys talked about, the other things that you have to do to be able to teach.
Yeah.
You know, it's that's the hard stuff. The teaching, when it comes from your heart and you really, really want your students to get it. Not just, you know, oh yeah, you've got that. That's not what I want. I really want you to get it, whatever the level is. I think the pupils feel that. I think they feel that.
for sure.
Absolutely.
If you're watching out there and you want to know what kind of a student you would become from taking Jenny's classes, look no further than Evita.
Protege couple right there.
We try. We try to live up to very high standards.
Aside from Mikey, my greatest achievement.
Oh, Mikey! We'll have to see him at some point. Maybe the next time we have you on, we'll try to catch him and say hi to him.
He's out at his friends and he's learning the ukulele. Yeah, I know. We're gonna have to get him with Casey at some point.
If anyone out there would like to learn how to play ukulele, you can go to ukulele.com. What is the website?
Ukulele Corner.
.com. Yeah. That is Simon Powis' other website for all ukulele needs. So
Right, okay. I'm going to have to get him to have a look at it.
well, listen, ladies, I just want to be mindful of time for everyone. So it's 17 past the hour. Jenny, thank you so much for coming back.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. It's lovely to see you. I don't see you for months on end.
Oh,
And now I've seen you like for 2 weeks.
it's a treat.
It's amazing. We'll
You guys
see
take
more.
care of yourselves. Keep doing the good work. Keep passing it on. Pass it on and pass it on. It's all to share.
That's right. Oh,
Share the love.
we will try to share the love.
We will. We love you, Jenny. Thank you for giving us time.
All right, guys. See you later.
Take care. Bye, Jenny.
Oh,
Vita.
incredible.
Good stuff. Well, listen, I will also say that we should probably wrap it up because, you know, it's that time. But thank you, everyone out there who was watching. We hope you found it just as entertaining, if not more so, than the first time. Who doesn't love a fart story about dancing on stage?
Yeah, farting into a microphone. I mean, come on, guys. It doesn't get more interesting than that.
Classic Thomas. And I need to get going because I got to get back to my recording of DVDs because that's what I'm doing right now. I am taking all of our like old camp DVDs.
Oh my gosh, show them closer so that people can see what they are.
This is just a smattering, just a small stack. I have a huge stack over there that I'm working through.
Wow.
But I'm digitizing stuff because I'm just trying to clear out, like I've just got junk. So I'm trying to Marie Kondo it. And I'm sure this does spark joy, but not in its physical form. So yeah, and my plan is I'm going to digitize all of these old recaps, and I'm going to start putting them on the site for members because I feel like who doesn't love a class recap? So
yeah, and those class recaps we will be adding to the combo collection for members. Yeah. Also, if anybody is free this coming Friday night, September 4th at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'm doing just a little itty-bitty mini lesson for, I believe it is called Friday Night Dance Hall, which is via Yuval and Jules. I think they're based in New Orleans. So yes, Rana's like saying, yeah. So please come to that. I think there'll be an interview of some kind, and I think I'm going to share a video of some kind. So yeah, come if you can. And again, definitely want to remind anybody and everybody who's interested, mark your calendar for September 19th. That is Michael and I doing our solo jazz workshop again for you guys.
Love it. All that information can be found on our Facebook page, on our website, syncopatedcity.com. Evita,
yeah.
Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday, huh?
Thanks, Michael. You too.
All right, I'll talk to you soon.
Alrighty.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye, y'all.